Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. And tonight is our legend segment. And tonight we got a South Florida legend of all legends. My college teammate, my true homeboy from Broward County, Pompano Beach, Homer Thomas. Homer, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much, Bobby. I truly appreciate it. It's glad to reconnect to you, man. I miss you. I miss the great superstars.
Well, I tell you what, man. It's one thing about our group at Florida State. We truly bonded
Right.
and became lifetime brothers.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I can be anywhere, and if somebody mentions your name, I'm a man, nothing but teeth.
It makes me smile every time I hear somebody even says your name. I said I miss it, but I said,
man, we had some good days together, brother. Some really good days.
Some great opportunities, great teams.
Teams, man.
The thing about Florida State during that time, with of course with Coach Stanton, he drove us to no end.
Ooh, yes,
but he got results, and I look back at it now, and it was all about teaching us hard work. Actually, when the game's over, it's easier. It's easier to play the game because he drove us so hard in practice.
Yes, he did. But I learned so much from him because a lot of people don't realize. I don't know if you know this or not, but not only did I get him 4 years at Florida State, he coached me 2 years in Atlanta.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on TV. I said, I started laughing. I said, "Boy, we can't get away from him no matter how he plays out. He can't get rid of
him." I'm gonna be honest with you. Just like you said, the kind of coach he was, I know I needed that in my life.
Right.
He was a guy who was pushing every button. But the thing I learned from him, probably more than anything, is the detail about the game.
Right.
To think about the days we spent watching film, and he was a defensive coordinator. He wasn't just a DB coach.
Right.
So he'll be watching one play 100 times almost.
Correct.
I guess he was critiquing every defensive player at the time, right?
Right.
And just going back, and we sitting there like, oh my gosh, not again.
No, but after a while, you kind of got used to Coach Stanton because you knew you were going to be. It's not like we were going to be nowhere near the first people that are going out. We're going to be the last one to go out. We're going to work out last. We're going to work out to the end. And then if you did it right and answered them correctly, then we could leave. You expected to be there till 10.
now, Homer, that was the key, right? Because with him, I'll never forget it, man. When I go back when he was really giving me a hard time my freshman year. I mean, he was on me all the time. And I couldn't understand why this guy was on me. I thought I was doing everything he asked me to do. But man, he was just always on me. And so I remember, when we played a game, we always had to take that test before we played.
Right. Just before the game.
For the game. Not just personnel, but everything about the whole package that we put in place and what they like on third and short, third and long, 1st and 10, midfield, red zone. I mean, all these things, man.
Right. Who was the backup quarterback? What's the receivers' numbers? You needed to know what the receivers' numbers was, what the running back numbers were.
Right. And you better know it too, man. Because if you didn't know it, you weren't gonna play.
No. And then when everything was actually said and done, remember how after we did that, he would actually take us to the stadium step, and everybody's rolling their eyes, and they could never figure out. He would still take us up to that stadium step and actually run the back pedals all the way up the ramps. They used to tell us
all the way up to the top.
Yeah, all the way to the top. You couldn't figure out. He said, "Man, something wrong with this guy. This guy never thinks you get tired out here. Like we machines."
Well, I tell you, man, I can tell you some stories, man. And I tell you, of course, we laugh at them now, but when we're in the heat of the moment, we were not doing a lot of laughing.
No, everybody rolling their eyes, everybody looking at everybody looking at everybody else and saying, under your breath, you're saying, "Man, what's going on?
What's going on?"
Like we don't practice the whole practice, and he still got us out here in sneakers. Now you got to get in shorts and t-shirts and go back out there in sneakers, and you're looking like everybody else is leaving, and they shaking their head and laughing at us.
Right. But I tell you what, though, you know, a lot of people don't remember Jack Stanton, because when Mickey Andrews came in as the defensive coordinator and DB coach at Florida State, you know, the program went to heights.
Right.
And so they always talk about Mickey, how tough Mickey is, right? And no disrespect to Mickey, because I think Mickey was a great coach and he's a great person.
Absolutely.
There's no way he was harder than Jack Stanton.
It's
not possible.
No, he did. You couldn't tell me the difference in his work. The work, you know, the thing was, I used to say all the time, I don't even think Coach thinks we get tired. I think he just, you know, he just treats us like, okay, turn the robot on, then the robot keeps going. And
Exactly.
you know, we're there at 7 in the morning. You got to get me down there for breakfast, and it's 10 o'clock at night. And you still, you know, you just going in, everybody just laughing at us when you come and say, finally, Coach C just let y'all out, huh?
Exactly.
That's all the DBs. All the DBs are coming up. They laughing at us coming up the stairs.
Understand. But I tell you, I'm thankful for him. And, you know, he was a no-nonsense coach. But, I really learned a game in a lot of ways with him. In particular, especially when I got to the league, what I learned was how to study the details.
Right.
I mean, he coached us with details.
Right.
But I know when my game really went to the level that it went to at its heights is when I really started studying tape. Right. And man, when I started studying, I said, I understand now why he
what he was asking of you later on. Exactly. I understand what he, you know, I guess when we're young, you know, you're 19, 20 years old, you don't really understand it. Right. But as we don't grow older, I said, these guys didn't work nearly as hard as they complain.
Right.
I said they couldn't even stand up to the stuff that we used to actually deal with and actually put up to that regimen. Remember, we actually on Friday we had to do weigh-ins, and I was always like 2 pounds over, and he scared me to death because I knew I was gonna have to run. I used to go in there and get into the steam room. I said, I got to get down to 190 pounds. I got to get sitting there for an hour. I got to get down to 190 pounds to make this weight. I gotta get to this weight.
Now, Homer, you were one of the bigger DBs now, because you what, 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2".
And 195, 200 right there?
Right. He wanted me at 195 at all times.
Man, I wish I had some of that. Hey, you know what's funny, right? So when I got to Florida State, I don't know if you ever heard this story before, I only weighed 145 pounds.
Didn't know that. And
Coach Bowden didn't know that. Okay. And so when I went up there on a recruiting trip, Steve Harden, I don't know if you met Steve Harden. I think Coach Harden had left.
Yeah, he was there initially when I got there. Okay. And then he left.
Well, Coach Harden coached me in high school.
Okay.
And then he left me my senior year and became a graduate assistant at FSU and started working at FSU, right? Right. And so Coach Harden told me, he said, now, when you go in the room with Coach Bowden, this is the first time I met Coach Bowden. He said, I need you to keep your jacket on. Whatever you do, do not take that jacket off. And I'm like, why I can't take my jacket off? What's the deal about my jacket? He said, whatever you do, don't take that jacket off, right? Well, you know, when I got there during the season, you know, we had to weigh in.
Right.
And when you weigh in, and then, you know, when you weigh out, I'm not going to be the same weight. I'm going to be 5 to 10 pounds lighter.
Right.
So I'm in my 130s. And I didn't know at the time that Coach Bowden was really going off on them in the meetings that night. This guy's too small. And then I started making plays, and next thing you know, they stopped talking about it. But I didn't even know that was an issue until later on, talking to the coaching staff. Coach Henshaw and Coach Stanton would tell me, you know, some of the conversations they were having. What, really? Yep. So, hey, 145 pounds. And when I left there, 4 years later, I was 155. When I got drafted, a lot of people don't know that I was 155 pounds.
Never knew that, Bobby. Honestly, I never knew that. But you didn't. But you didn't play at that kind of you didn't play that kind of a level. I mean, and I'm just talking to you honestly now off the books.
Mm-hmm.
Your coverage I used to admire the way you covered. I said he breaks on a dime out there. I said I used to tell guys just sitting back. I said if you ever want to watch some technique, I said watch Bobby Butler on that back pedal and watch how he breaks. I said I don't know what he's reading, and I said I wish I could actually have that kind of vision to anticipation, because I said your speed was just unbelievable on that break. On that break, on that cut, I said he was there. He was always there. I said no matter how he played it, I said he was there. And I said he wasn't as big as most guys, but he would throw his body into it. Nobody, it wasn't like no missed tackles and stuff. I said, you know how we used to see, 200 and something pound linebackers missing tackles, but we never missed tackles on Stanton out there.
Well, think about it. One thing about Coach Stanton, and like I say, while we was in it, we couldn't understand, but we tackled in practice
all the time. Running backs. Then we would go tackle against the scout squad guys.
Team. That's right. And we'll be out there for a minute.
Yeah. Just into the practice. I mean, you tired. He done ran you literally all practice, just from doing coverages and backpedaling drills, and then all of a sudden he's saying we're gonna tackle these guys. And I honestly felt sorry for him sometimes. I just said, I know you can see how the guys rolling their eyes, and then they just Coach Stanton just say run around the corner and they're just gonna attack it. You know how you got that deep voice? He got that bass voice. Run around that corner. And they just go. They want you to bring him to the ground. I want you to wrap him up and knock him back.
Exactly. Well, I tell you. Well, when you practice that stuff, you can be good at it, and you'll be more consistent at doing it. And we did a lot of hitting. So
yes, a lot.
Open field, angle tackles, you name it, we did it. Right. So and the thing that I really loved about. Another thing that we did that, I was at a Florida State practice when Jimbo Fisher was coaching.
Okay.
And Terrell Buckley was the assistant. Well, he was coaching the corners.
Right.
And so I go to the practice, man. I'm all excited. I'm in Tallahassee, man. I'm at the practice, man. And so the practice is going, and they're going through their different, stations, their different drills. And so it was getting kind of long. I went over to T-Buck. I said, T-Buck, when are we going to do one-on-one? The DBs and the receivers. His eyes got that big, Homer. He said, we don't do that no more. He said, I be telling them we need to do that one-on-one. I said, yeah, it was a highlight of practice.
Yeah, we used to run. We used to go against the receivers. This is after we've done this against the running backs. We used to go up against the receivers and actually cover. I mean, it was like, how you remember how Stanton used to tell us we had 5 minutes for water, but he would always blow us up and tell us to come on, you got to get ready to go. You got to come on, you got to jog all the way across the field over there to the third field. We always at the third field. Have to go to the first field to get water. No water's never on our side of the field. We were running the most out there.
I remember. Oh, hey, one thing nobody gonna say, that we were never in shape.
No. As far as our conditioning, you never worried about conditioning. You could go like we could go 2 games out there, a game and a half out there on the field, because we were definitely conditioned.
We were in shape. So, Homer, we're gonna get to Florida. We're gonna get back a little bit of Florida State, but I want to talk to you about South Florida, man.
Okay.
I'm still living in Atlanta,
right?
And people think I'm kind of crazy. Maybe I am. When I started talking about football talent, and I said, let me tell y'all something, man. They play good football here in Georgia. I said, but ain't nothing like South Florida.
No.
I said, when you get down south of Orlando, and they play football in Tallahassee, Pensacola.
Right.
Jacksonville got great football. They play great football over in Tampa. You name all the big cities, they play football. But there's something in that water, especially down there in the 561, the 305, the 470, the 945, whatever, all of them.
Right, 954. Yeah,
954. Bruh, I be sitting there going, y'all better recognize, I look at all these colleges, y'all better get in South Florida, because you don't even have to get the 5-star kid.
No,
You go
no,
down there and
because
recruit the 3-star kid.
our 3-star players were at least 4, and some of them may even be 5.
Yeah,
But
see, that's right.
we ate football. See, basketball was like a lot of other areas. You know, basketball was always a secondary sport.
Right.
We played football, and just that was the sports. We just took it easy during basketball season, like worked out.
That's
We
right.
just, it was all football, just working. Okay, you played other sports, but you
Right.
never considered yourself another player. That was just another sport you were playing to stay in condition for
Stay in
football.
condition for football. That's right. That's right.
Stay in condition, because you down here, you know, and I still see it. I see it all the time. You look at the way, and in fact, speaking on that point, look at the number of teams that are still playing for the you know, the state championship down here. They still got 5 teams, Bobby.
Wow.
That's like every division.
Every division.
It's just every division is just they playing for the state championship. St. Thomas don't want so many championships. I can't remember the number. Now American Heritage is good, Chaminade is good, Cardinal Gibbons, you know, and then you still got the Miami schools. You still got Miami Central still playing, Columbia, Miami, Columbia. That means you only got 8. You only have 8. You only have 8 divisions. 7 of them at South Florida is actually being represented in those divisions, and they're playing in Fort Lauderdale.
Absolutely, all the time.
Yeah, they're playing in Fort Lauderdale. So like playing home games.
So what do you think? Is it because the weather is so good that we play football year round when other people are in the gym when it's colder? What is it? Because I try to put my hand on it, and the only thing I can think about is that, especially when we were kids, street football was king.
Right. But see, we played football since a lot of us have actually, and I'm using myself. A lot of us have actually played football, Bob, as early as elementary school. Back when I was in 1st grade. And we used to play before the game. Before school started. We used to go to school about 45 minutes to an hour early.
That's right.
Just to go out and play in the fields.
Get it
on the side of the elementary school. And then when the bell rang, that was it. We played football as if it was nothing else. We played to actually see the thing about us. We played the football to win. I say that with all honesty. Even when I can just remember myself when I'm 6 years old, I still played football to win. I didn't look to the other sports were just other sports to me. You know, I spectator sports.
Right.
But football. I've always felt that Florida is a football state. If you want to get the best of the best, you want to fill up a roster real quickly, come to South Florida.
Come to South Florida. Well, I did something. I did a little research a couple months ago, and I haven't done a show. I'm gonna do a show about it one of these days. And I gathered some information and was talking about the NFL players the last decade. What state got the most NFL players in the past decade?
Stop.
All right.
Stop.
Well, we know the answer to that question. It was
Bobby. Miami had, and I'm gonna give them their props just for one time. Miami had 6 of their top DBs for an 8-year period go to pros.
Go pro. That's right.
Just 6 of the 8 players that started from Miami when they went to the pros. 5 of them were first-round picks.
First round, right? Exactly.
You know, it was
boy. Hey,
and our numbers. We played. I think we played all positions. I think we had more offense and defensive linemen. We had defensive backs and wide receivers, and we had a ton of runs. See, Florida this area has a ton of running backs, but every position is actually loaded. You sat the bench behind great players. You just had to wait for your time down here.
You had to wait your time. You had to wait your time.
Yeah. I used to tell people, because our high school, Pompano Senior High School, was so good. If you didn't have your ticket, it would, like if we played big competition, if you didn't have your ticket by Tuesday, you weren't going into the game. You're gonna stand at the fence.
That's right.
And then the game is sold out, so you got to stand on the fence outside to watch the game. Now, if you just played a regular opponent, on Thursday, if you didn't have your ticket by the beginning on Thursday morning, you weren't able to go, even on bad teams.
Yeah, you weren't gonna get in. Well, I tell
It
you
was
what.
standing room only. I never
Now,
saw a game down there, and I say it was at all honest. I never saw a game down here in Broward County, and it wasn't standing room only. I
oh,
never saw a
absolutely.
game. All those years, I never
The
saw a game that wasn't
stadium,
standing room only.
the stadium is always packed.
It's just
Now,
packed to
now,
the
now,
rafters. It was
now,
just even on the visitor side, it's packed because our
it's
people
packed.
have to go on that
Had to go on
side
the other
to
side.
get to get a seat.
To the seat. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. We go back farther than what you know. Our history from our cities, right?
Right.
So when we talk about segregation, right? During the time of segregation,
Right.
Delray had a team, a school called Carver High.
Right. I know.
Pompano had a team called Ely High.
Right.
And the only team that can beat Delray on occasion was Ely High.
I want to tell you a true story. You know, my dad played for Delray. My dad played up in Delray. Yeah, he played up in Delray.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played. He was in from Pompano, but he played up in Delray.
Wow.
Yeah, because and true story, he couldn't make Ely.
He couldn't make the Ely
so he
team?
Went to Delray.
He went
up to Delray to be on the team. He couldn't make the Ely team, so he went up to Delray. True story. He went up to Delray to play.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man.
He went up to Delray to play to be on the team because everybody at that time, basketball was just basketball. You know how you just pick. It was like a pickup game kind of basketball. Right. And to a point, I still see it that way. I know we got a lot of great basketball players from the area, but I see basketball as just another sport to play after football.
Right.
And I've always felt that way.
Well, listen, it's a side piece because I'm gonna tell you where I come from. Now in Palm Beach County, we have some good basketball, and the great basketball in Palm Beach County come from the north end of Palm Beach County. In particular, a little place called Riviera.
Right.
Suncoast, Kennedy, North Shore. So my wife went to North Shore High School, and North Shore won a couple state titles when I was in high school. And then the guys from Boynton, Lake Worth High School, they were pretty good.
Right.
Now, and when you go back and we talk about segregation, now the breakdown in Palm Beach County, we were getting all the kids from Lake Worth all the way down to Boca and Deerfield were coming to Carver High and Delray.
Right.
So think about all those kids. You know, forget all the black kids in Delray. It was so much talent in Delray alone that some of those guys went to a different high school. They went to the white high school, Seacrest. Right. They were allowed over there, and a lot of them played football at Seacrest High School because of the talent.
You know, they didn't have the reason that they built Deerfield High School because Pompano Ely didn't have enough uniforms because it was only at one time in Broward County, it was only for blacks. It was only Ely and Dillard. So Dillard took everything north. Dillard took everything south, and Ely took everything north. It was just either you went to one of those two schools, or you didn't play. That's the reason that's the reason he ended up having to go up to Delray because it was just play. You know, you got all the players from there. You know, so it wasn't no Fort Lauderdale was a white school. All the other schools, Fort Anderson wasn't even existent. Deerfield wasn't in existence back then.
Exactly.
Deerfield. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you remember? Not to cut you off. Do you remember these two kids? They were my age, Rocky and Mike Gillis.
Right.
You know the Gillis brothers?
Yes, sir. I grew up with them. Mike is one of my best friends.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, he's still in Pompano.
Well, tell him I say hello. He might not remember me because I remember him when we played Pop Warner football.
Right.
We used to play. He played at Lighthouse Point, him and his brother Rocky.
Right.
And then I think when I was in high school, I think I was on the Sun Sindel team with Mike or Rocky, one of them. I got to look in my book. It must have been Rocky because I think Mike is 1 year.
Rocky. Mike came out with me.
Yeah. Mike, I think Mike is 1 year ahead of me, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, man, the Gillis brothers, it was some bad dudes now.
Yeah, Rock is actually the county athletic director
Get
for Broward
out.
County.
Are you kidding me?
He's the county athletic director for the
Wow.
Broward County now.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing, man. That's
yeah,
amazing. I go way back with those cats, man.
yeah. He
I
used
go
to
way.
when he was at Pompano. He would have been. I would have been a sophomore in college when he was a senior, but he did everything. He kicked field goals.
He can do everything.
He actually punted.
Mm-hmm.
He ran back everything. He was just Rock was unbelievable.
He was unbelievable
when he played. He had
mm-hmm.
2 straight years of 1,500 yards.
Ooh,
he ended up going with Iowa State. He ended up going to Iowa State.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Mike played. Mike was his senior year. He actually blossomed. His junior year, he got hurt.
Okay.
In high school. His senior year, he really blossomed. He got like 1,200 yards. But he went to Virginia.
Okay. Man, it's a small world.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you who else I played against. You're gonna love this, right? In Pop Warner, we used to play, in Delray, the Delray Rocks, we played everybody south.
Okay.
They didn't have teams in Palm Beach County. We're the only, us and Boca Jets.
Right.
We're the only 2 teams in Palm Beach County. So we played everybody south. So we played Collier City. We played all the Fort Lauderdale teams, Margate, Northeast, Sunrise, Plantation, Milton Manors, all Western. We played all those guys. But we played Cincinnati one year. I think it was my junior year up in Cincinnati. It was cold. I don't know if you remember that game. It was so doggone cold. We were undefeated. And, and Cincinnati was not very good.
Right.
And we were, but they were beating us, man, because we were not used to playing in that kind of weather.
Right.
The quarterback for Cincinnati was a guy from Fort Lauderdale named Capitanis, was his last name.
Right.
Capitanis. And when I saw him, I go, that's the dude I played Pop Warner football against from Margate. He was from Margate, right?
Yeah, he played for Coconut Creek High School.
Coconut Creek High School.
Yes, he did.
What about a Greg Boyd? Do you remember Greg Boyd, track guy?
Yeah. He actually went to Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, that's where he went.
Yeah, then he actually transferred to Boyd Anderson.
Boyd Anderson, that's right.
Yeah, he transferred to Boyd Anderson. Boyd Anderson was the new school because they only had Dillard and Fort Lauderdale. Then Boyd Anderson came.
Right.
And so he transferred to Boyd Anderson because he originally went to Fort Lauderdale and then he transferred to Boyd Anderson.
He was fast now. He was fast.
Yes,
now,
he was.
I met him. My father was a pastor. And so I met him through Sunday school convention.
Okay.
So I met a lot of people in different ways other than just, playing sports and stuff. And so and I met Greg and, a lot of those guys, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So, all right. So now you leave high school, and where do you go when you first leave high school before you came to Florida State?
Kansas State University.
Kansas State. You played there at Kansas State.
Yeah.
Now, how was it out there?
Team was real bad, Bobby. They couldn't I never seen players that couldn't play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got you.
I never seen players that couldn't. I never seen offensive linemen that bad. What I'm saying? I just couldn't understand them being that bad. I just competition. I used to always say, you play up to your competition. You go if competition's playing hard, you play better.
Right.
And I used to always play like that. In fact, one of the quarterbacks that played for Nebraska, Gifford, what's his name? Ferragamo, Vince Ferragamo played with the Rams.
Yeah.
I got him twice. I was a freshman.
Wow.
I used to say, and true story. I remember saying to myself, "You gonna try me on some old little crazy out?
Keep coming with it,
Yeah, you gonna try me just because I'm a freshman. You gonna try me with an out?
With an out.
The wide receiver ran a bad route. He just rounded the route off.
Rounded it off.
So
right.
I broke.
Man. Oh, you broke it,
about 2 yards I broke, and then he threw it. I said, if he throws it, I'm go with it.
Right.
He threw it. I got it. but he threw it low, so I had to get the hands up on it, and so I went down to get it. That's the only reason I went down. The second time, he tried to go deep on me. I said, "Oh my God, he's trying to throw to a turtle out here." I'm a freshman, Bobby. I said, "He's trying to throw it to a turtle out here running."
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. Man. I can literally backtail it down the field on this guy. Got him again. Got him again. Going down the sideline. Going down the sideline.
That's awesome.
I cut back. I made a mistake. I cut back. Instead of keep going down the sideline. I saw them linemen coming across. You know how the big linemen was, because Nebraska had them huge linemen. So they started coming out, and I just said, "Oh no, I ain't gonna let one of these big old boys hit me. I'm gonna get up under this thing." So one of them grabbed me and tripped me up. I said, "Oh, I was wrong. I should have stayed to the side. I could have beat the big boys." It had to ran about 40 yards. I said, I saw the end zone, but I couldn't. I said, I can't get past them big old boys. Them big old boys gonna get there before I get there.
And you probably was a little winded too, right?
Yeah, and you running, and you know how you after a while you start looking at it, and then you start seeing them. Because I kept pointing to our guys, and they looking around. And I said, I'm trying to stay to the sideline. I said, no, I ain't gonna stay to the sideline because they're gonna get me.
They're gonna get right.
So I just said, after that freshman year there, I just said, we're honestly, you look at it, I said, we ain't gonna never win here. This is I might as well go back to state that don't recruited me. I remember saying that to myself. I just said, I don't know if I want to, I spoke to my parents. I said, I don't know if I want to play out here because these guys, I mean, we ain't gonna never win more than 3 games. I mean, if we win 3 games, we beating some real bad teams. But they were we were bad. Not quality team. We were real bad. I mean, just really bad.
Wow.
It was just unbelievably bad. You know how I used to see some holes, but like nobody was even in the holes on linebackers. It was just it was crazy. You had running back running full blast on it out there. Sims. And Overstreet, man, they were busting. They were hitting the holes, and it was like you were racing them.
Right.
You were out there racing them because they were coming through so fast.
So clean, right?
Yeah, nobody there. Linebacker don't miss all the tackles. Ain't nobody touched him. They put an arm up there, and they were just blowing holes, just blowing up holes.
I tell you right now, that's not good.
No.
That's good. I tell people all the time. I say, you know what, y'all say what you want to say, but especially in the NFL, now anywhere, because the game has changed so much.
Right.
If a corner makes 5 tackles on a running back, there's something wrong with the defense.
Yeah. 5 tackles. We were making 5 tackles a quarter.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
They were blowing. I mean, they were blowing us up. They were just gaping holes. Just, you know what I'm saying? You were just tired out there. You just tackling. I said, man, we might as well not even. Come on, guys. Y'all got to slow them down. We might as well not even be. What are we doing out here? Come on, man. Our front 8 was just, 7. They were just, I don't know. They didn't have the level of talent to play out there. You play in Nebraska and Oklahoma, and then that's when Colorado was good too. So it was just, we were just getting bashed. We were just, the whole season we were just getting bashed out there. And then I did it the year, and then I just said, I don't know. Then the second year I came back, and I just said, no, I don't want to do this no more. This is just, you're going to get hurt out here. I had hurt my shoulder out there trying to make tackles. I said, I don't want to do this like this no more. Just, we ain't going to ever win. I came to play football because I knew how to play football. We couldn't play. Bobby. I lost him. I think I lost him.
Hey, I'm gonna come back on for just a second because Bobby was having a little bit of trouble with his internet earlier. So
not a problem. Not a problem.
He might have to jump back off for a second, but yeah, keep on telling us though.
Yeah, it's just after that point, I just felt that it would be better for me just to transfer. That's how I got to Florida State. I just ended up just transferring to Florida State, and then met some lifelong friends from there.
And all the guys. What was your first year of college like when you first got to Florida State?
Pretty good. Pretty good. that's when I knew that football was actually the way it's supposed to be, because you could see Coach Stanton and the defensive coaches actually just being so the way I felt football was, the way I had learned football from a young age. I just realized that we could you could play on quality teams. You can see the difference in between the level of competition between Florida State and Florida. By the way, we played Florida State my sophomore year, and I was covering Mike Sherman.
Hey, I've got
I
got Bobby back here a little bit on phone. Can you hear Bobby?
Sure.
Hey, Homer.
Yes, I hear you.
I went out in my house, so I'm with my phone, bro.
Not a problem. We were just speaking. I'm sorry.
You were talking about that game your sophomore year. That was my freshman year. I was there that day when we played you guys.
Right. We played against. I was playing Mike Sherman. They had assigned Mike Sherman. I was assigned to him the whole game. Yeah, he ended up going to the league. I was assigned to him the whole game. And like, I'm talking about a little dude. Like, I say, this is I remember saying that because Florida State had recruited me, right? And I said, this is what I'm talking about. This is how competition is supposed to be playing. People got to play. I mean, he bringing the A game out there. I remember he beat me on a post, and I barely got my hand. I'm talking about barely pushed it, just barely pushed it past his fingernails, and he screamed out. And of course, the loudness come out. Man, when you thought you were gonna catch the ball, baby, I was just giving you a chance to run down the field. You were just exercising me. You weren't gonna catch it. You know how you got a little competition. You know how that competition get the flowing down here. You weren't expecting to catch that ball, were you? You thought you were open? I said, you could. I told him, I said, you could run all the way across the field. I'm gonna still be with you. I'm just like a suit. I'm like a bad suit. Boy, I'm gonna be on you real tight. You ain't gonna catch Mike. No, I was talking to him. Who you think you talking to? I see when you start talking to him and they start talking back. I said, I know I got him talking to me now.
You got it now.
I say, look at this. I say, man, I say, quarterback. I say, your quarterback. I say, y'all got back there. I say, you got the big time Jimmy Jordan back there. I said, I played against Jimmy, but Jimmy ain't even gonna throw the ball to you no more. He ain't even gonna throw the ball to you out here. He afraid to throw the ball to you out here. You ain't catching nothing. Man, listen, go ahead and be a lineman. I say, go ahead and go over there and be a lineman. And I can stand out here by myself and don't have to cover nobody. You ain't gonna catch nothing. He started at first he got mad. I guess he got used to me after a while because I had him talking back. You know how you get him to talking back to you. He like pointing at me. I say, you're not gonna, you can't beat me on this, man. I said, you just got me running around out here on this field. I said, you ain't getting open. We running around on the field like you gonna catch up. You ain't caught nothing on me yet. Why we running on the field? Let's just stand here. Let's just jog down the field because you ain't running. Then he finally caught an out. Like he caught a quick out, a 5-yard quick out on me. And he handed the ball. He handed the ball to me. I said, oh, okay, you got me. You got me. I remember saying, I said, oh, okay, you got me. But I said, you notice it was 5 yards. You can't go deep on it. The next play, the coach called. We see that's the reason that it bothered me out there. We changed up the secondary call where I was supposed to be bump and run from in the short zone, in the short the short and medium zone, and then the safety was supposed to be all over the top. And sure enough, I looked back and Sherman's running. He's running flat, running by himself, and he's just running. I pushed him outside. And he's running. The safety didn't even get over. He caught the touchdown. He came all the way back down the field. I left you that far. He said, that's exactly what he said to me. I left you that far. I left you about 20 yards, didn't I? I said, man, you lucky you even caught that ball. It was a good, I smiled. I laughed to him. And as soon as I transferred to Florida State, he was the first person I saw. I laughed with him. And he said, I had a good time with you out there. I said, yeah, you can play, baby.
Hey, Mike Sherman was a good player. But I remember that year in particular, everybody, I think it was that game most of our receivers got hurt except Mike Schumann.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a dude who was told really not to even come back because he was a fifth-year senior. And he was going to be on the JV because, back then we had a JV squad.
Right.
But he wouldn't quit. He wanted to come back another year. And when I tell you, Jackie Flowers got hurt, everybody got hurt. And this guy named Roger Overby,
Okay,
played the whole year, never dropped a pass, and played so well against Florida. I think he scored like 3 touchdowns against Florida. They got a statue of Roger Overby at Doe Camel right now on the outside of the stadium.
I remember Glob. I played against Glob.
You can't make that kind of stuff up. This guy
No. Because when you walk on and you come and you actually you're finally able to demonstrate how well you can play and how well you can actually your ability is. That's like made of dreams. That's like.
Well, I think about. I don't know if you remember when. Oh God, what's his name? Linebacker. He used to be a scout team tight end player.
Not Paraski.
No. Reggie and Paraski came in with me. This guy was a brother. He's a tight end. Walk on from Umadilla, Florida.
Zeke Mowat.
Huh?
Not Zeke, was it?
Not Zeke. No, Zeke played tight end. But
right.
He walked on tight end. He walked on as a tight end. Everybody get hurt one year. And he ended up playing linebacker. And I think it was Paul Borowski went down. And he ended up starting against somebody and had the game of a lifetime. Stuff you can't make up. Ron Hester.
Right, yeah. Ronnie Hester, yeah.
Hey, I'll never forget this. In that game, he had about 10 to 12 tackles. He blocked a punt and picked it up and scored.
Right. I remember that.
He intercepted the ball and went 73. You can't make that up, man. I'm like,
and Gino say I'm coaching him. Notice I'm coaching him up. Gene McDowell. I'm coaching. That's how I coach him up. That's how I coach him up over there. That's how. I said, look at coach. He accepted. Yeah. Then Hester, then Hester became he came one of his linebackers at that time.
He did. And then when I left, Ron was like a 5th round pick with the Dolphins. He played about 5-6 years with the Miami Dolphins. Right. He had a good pro career.
Right. Had crazy speed. Crazy speed,
man.
Yeah.
Crazy speed. And came in as a tight end. He looked more like a running back to me than
right.
anything.
A big guy. He was like about 220. He like about 210, 215.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember exactly who you're talking about.
Nice size. Yeah, he was nice size, right? No doubt, man. But man, I tell you what, we played with some great players.
Yeah.
When I think about our secondary, when I think about the corners in particular, me, you, Ivy Joe, James Harris, Harvey Clayton. Man, we had a solid corner. Hector Gray. We had a solid group of corners, right? Yourself. And then we start talking about safeties. We had the smartest safeties in the country.
Right.
You could convince me that Monk and Keith Jones were not the 2 smartest guys in the country.
Like just like a coach out there on the field. Just like the coach, like they don't draw it up. Like they don't do nothing but study the book. Don't do nothing but study the playbook. Making every call.
I tell you, man, I've never, in the whole time that I played with Keith Jones, because he played strong corner. I was with him all the time.
Right.
He was never out of position, not one time.
Right.
I wish I could say that for my pro teammates.
The thing about that, Bobby, they never had great speed, but they studied it as if how they were like little Stantons. I used to say all the time, like little Stantons out there on the field. They knew exactly where it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be. Actually, exactly who's covered, making the checks, making all the calls. And Stan used to somebody, so you don't say nothing back. I say, Coach, he calling it. All I do is just raise my hand. He calling it. Exactly. I can hear him calling it because I'm raising the hand.
Yeah, I'm calling it. Exactly. Yeah. But man, we had a great group, and then you had to be good, because if you can just really, to be honest with you, you think about, we talked about it earlier, what we had to put up with, the way Coach Stanton was coaching us, right? So it really brought us all together.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're under that kind of pressure all the time, we laughing and looking at each other, having a good time, because you got to in some kind of way. Find moments where you can laugh about what he's doing.
Right. You can, we joke about it now, but if you look at that unit that actually played Oklahoma those 2 times, Bobby, we were better than them. We were better than them. We played them for the national championships, and they didn't have nothing on us.
Right.
And and the expectation that Stanton put on us as seniors, our senior year, your junior year, he put the expectation on us that that was your senior year too, but he put that expectation on us that we expected to shut people out. Remember, he complained. Remember, we gave up 3 points against Memphis State, and he took the starters out and put people back in the game because they got 3 points on it. They got 3 points on it. Everybody looking crazy, like he calling up the unit. Like everybody, how the helmet's sitting one way, people got water in their hands, got a towel around your neck, and he say, "Okay, Barnes, you're going back. You're going back in." Yeah, he was. The one thing that is, he wanted to be great. Remember that last drive that we had, and I say this with all honesty, against Oklahoma, I expected to win that game.
Oh, no doubt.
I expected to win the game. I say, if it's on the show, remember how Coach B used to say, defense, can you hold them? It was no doubt we said, yes, we'll get it done. It was no doubt. We had 2 opportunities to win the national championship. We tipped the ball at the line of scrimmage. Jarvis drops one, and then Futz drops another one. I said, somebody just catch the ball and let's end this, man. This is a dream. Yeah, just catch the ball. The ball is fluttering. It ain't even like no throw. It's just that ball just fluttering to that, and it hits you in your hand and you drop it. And you say,
what about that? What about it was 4th down and 24?
Yeah. Oh, and Gary let the guy out jumping. I just knew, Bobby. I had already started to dance over there on the side. I knew we were going. I knew this was over. 4th and 23. 4th and 23. Okay, they got one receiver out there. They ain't got the other receiver on the other side. I remember you asked them, can you switch? And they told you no, stay back on the other side. I remember the call. Because you said, I'm gonna go with it. And then they said, no, you stay on that side. Stay on that side, and we're gonna double him on this side. They brought Gary in as the 3rd safety. And Gary just let the guy out jumping. Just
if he could just knock it down.
That's all I was saying. I ain't looking for the interception, Bobby. I'm looking to just knock it, just knock it down, baby. This is over. We don't want a national championship, bro. We got the diamonds. We got the championship here because we knew we were a better team. As much stuff as Oklahoma talk. You remember they had no running backs by the end of the game. Remember every running back they had out there, even the quarterback Lott was actually hurt that game. We heard everything they had back there. Busta Rhymes, Billy Sims, all of them. We don't put them all out of the game.
That's right.
Boy, they were getting hit. I know one thing. They can never say we didn't hit them. We didn't hit them. I wanted to win that game so badly. I almost wanted to eat when Gary let that guy out jumping. Bobby, I just laid down on the ground. Lord have mercy.
Oh my God.
How you do a 4th and 23 and you let the guy catch the 24 yards? Just, baby, all you got to do is just hit the ball. Tap the ball. Just tap. He like, if you looked at the film, it looks like he just jumped, but he didn't jump to knock the ball down. He just jumped to get up, and the ball didn't come over to him. Instead of meeting the ball in the air, because they would have never called interference when both of y'all jumping for the ball out there. They would
have called it.
Right. Even if he had grabbed the inside arm and pulled the inside arm back, the game would have been over. We running down the field, national championship. Just got a big diamond. They called me my big diamond, Bobby. They called me my big diamond.
I know, right? I know, boy.
One I was sick. That one I was actually sick. I just could not believe we lost to Oklahoma. I just knew we were way better than them. I mean, we out hit them, we outperformed them, we won, and it was just and one fluke play, and they went down the field. See, that's what was so stunning to me, because we banked on. I mean, number one defense in the country. I just knew we can stop them. I just knew it. And when we lined up, I just said, I know we got them. We gonna get them. We gonna stop them.
They had less than 50 yards of rushing offense.
Right. Every running, but see, because every run, even that wishbone, we were destroying that wishbone. That lead running back, he was getting blasted, and then everybody scrambling to get to the sideline. We were running after the ball. It was just like Stanton had actually been out there practicing us. He was just like Stanton standing on the field making us run.
That's right.
We were dominating them out there. They got to, and then Locke wasn't even a throwing quarterback. He was a running quarterback.
Quarterback.
I mean, and balls were fluttering. I just said, "Oh, baby, come on! Somebody got to knock the ball down." I was on the knees.
Up in the air.
I was on my knees. I just said, "Come on, baby! One play, we national champion. One play, 4th and 23. We one play. We win this game. We don't want the national championship. One play. We don't want this thing. We don't want the diamond, baby. We don't got the rings." And then we got the catch. I just said, "Oh my God!"
And
then we still had them. They took them to midfield. But then when Jarvis dropped the interception where the quarterback got hit, float hit him. It hit a lot when he was trying to throw it, and it floated. The ball hit Jarvis in the hand, and he dropped it.
Well, Jarvis was just one, but remember the one now was when Futch had that screen pass.
Right.
He wasn't up the field bobbling the ball.
Right.
Having to fall down.
And instead of just catching the ball and just falling down to the ground and it's over with, baby. You ain't got to run. You ain't got to score. Just catch it. He trying to score like he was a tailback.
Like he was a tailback.
Hey, I said,
he probably had a high school flashback.
That had to be, because you're trying to see a defensive tackle trying to scramble like he was trying to score with the ball, knowing he was going to get tackled in 10 yards. He ain't gonna run 5 yards and they gonna tackle him.
Just catch it and fall down.
Just catch the ball and just fall down, and the game over. We don't won the national championship. I just knew we were better than them. I just hated that. And I hate, even when we saw them. You remember after the game they took us on the boat and then we went over to the island. We went to the island and I saw them. I just, man, I don't even want to be around these guys. I don't even want to be around these guys.
I didn't go. I didn't
even want to be around them guys. I was just so sick. And you know how they ain't saying that to you, but they smiling, and the smile was just terrible. When they were smiling at me, Bobby, like they were pointing their finger in my face. They were smiling at me.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my God, look at this." Like almost, I said to myself, "Boy, I know I'm gonna get kicked off the team if we start something, but I know I can't take this. I got to get from around them. I got to get from around them. I can't be here. I can't be around them out here because they here laughing at us and smiling at us like they don't did something and knowing we were a better team."
Well, I tell you what, we got Oklahoma in this bowl game in a few days.
Yeah, I'm going. We owe them. I'm going. We owe them.
Hey, we owe them, bro. You got that right.
We owe them.
We owe them.
I got a nephew. I got a nephew that plays. I got a nephew plays for Oklahoma, defensive end.
Really?
Mason Thomas.
Mason Thomas.
Yeah, that's my nephew.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on that joker, man.
Yeah, he's defensive end. He a freshman defensive end for Oklahoma.
That's awesome, man. That's
But
awesome.
I'm a rib him. I'm a rib him. I gotta tell him. I gotta call him and say, you don't think y'all gonna win. Now you can play well, but y'all ain't gonna win.
But y'all ain't gonna win, right?
Nah, oh boy, Florida State gonna get there. We're gonna get 10 wins. We owe it to it. We owe it this year. We owe 10 wins. We need to, that was like, that was like traditional. And they were talking about how they went on 14 games. I said, y'all don't even know, man. We were doing that back in the late 70s. I said, in the late 70s, we were winning 10 games. 10 games? We wanted to win the championship. We didn't want to win no 10 games. We wanted the championship. We wanted the title, baby.
There you go. There you go. Well, man, it's good to have you on the show, man. That's about all our time for the night. But, man,
okay. Bobby, it's been great. Listen,
man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show tonight. And if you like the show, share it and comment it with your friends.
I promise you.
Butler on 100 Yards of Football. And we had the legend, my homeboy, Homer Thomas on the show. Homer, thank you so much for your time, bro.
It's my pleasure, Bobby. Be great, man.